Greetings.
Greetings.
I was listening to the song, our first song, I'm Always Enough. Everything I need is within me. And as I sat thinking about the song, so appropriate for our topic, which is the soul's agenda. And as Reverend Marcia said, next week we will share what's on your agenda so that you can align with your soul's agenda. Human beings attach agendas to many actions to receive fulfillment from outside of themselves. When our song said, everything I need is within me. Thank you. We're having a bit of technical problems this morning, so just bear with us. The soul has an agenda and is being fulfilled with every need in which you participate. You see, the human being needs to learn, not the soul. The purpose of your soul is to get you back home. As Josh said in his song, back in the arms of the Creator. When you're entertaining thoughts of the past, you get off the track. As an example, a couple of weeks ago, I was sitting in nature and I saw a mother duck with about 9 little chicks in tow. They were all over the place, but not in front of her. They were exploring the terrain as she continued to walk, not looking back. I watched the little chicks, the smallest one, climbing up over a rock to keep up with the larger ones. She crossed the street, and I thought she would wait to see if all her chicks were with her. She never looked back, and the little ones ran to try to keep up with her. I watched until they were all out of sight and began to think about what I saw. I thought about my children. I would have never crossed the street without holding their hand. I let them run in front of me so I could keep an eye on them. And as I was sitting there contemplating what I had seen, the thought came to me of my soul and its purpose to get me back home, never looking back. Our soul has been with us since we took our first breath, as that is part of us that we call God or our higher power. When we recognize the soul as God within us, we are on the right path. Mystics write, the soul rides on our breath, and that is why deep breathing is suggested. We shared concepts on how to follow our soul's agenda throughout this year. Which one is worth repeating? Stop, look, and listen. You've always followed your soul's agenda, or you would not be in this type community listening to me. It is just now time to be conscious of what you are doing and your purpose for doing so. And the first is to be conscious of your agenda and follow through on the guidance, follow through on what comes through for you to do. My experience have been of late to accept the images that come to mind, accept them and love them. I want to just digress for a moment on the word need. Need is an attribute of the soul. Want is an attribute of the body. And we have we thought we had interchanged need with want, when in fact, whatever it is that we want is the need for our soul to continue its journey. And your soul is fulfilling its agenda, regardless to how often you get off the path. As I say, when you're off the path, it is just something to do while you're doing something else. And the something else is developing the perfect human being. So let me define the word perfect, which is having all of the essence or energy of the Creator or God or whatever name you call your idea of supreme being. So let us look at 3 concepts of how we can aid our soul in fulfilling its journey, its agenda, through intent, integrity, and dedication. The first, intent. When you decide to take on a project or make up your mind you're going to do something, first thing is to ask, what do you intend to happen as a result? See your project through the end. You see, the essence of intent is the first energy that taps into the belief system, and whatever you believe will be the result of the project. Intent brings the energy of purpose, your soul's purpose. Also, the qualities of steadfastness, intensity, attentiveness, undistracting, strength, concentration, enthusiasm, to name a few to get you started. This is the point of stopping and confirming your intention or your intent to see that it is in alignment with your soul's agenda. Dr. Holmes wrote, when an idea comes to mind, everything necessary for its completion is embedded in the idea. And I liken that to a seed. Everything to make a rose is in the seed. As the song said, everything I need is within me. Our second concept is integrity. And we hear a lot about that word, integrity. It is defined as honesty. So how honest are you with yourself, with your feelings, your images, and thoughts? Honesty, uprightness, moral soundness, straightforwardness, reliability, wholeness, and unity, to name a few qualities. We're out of integrity when we tell ourselves we will do something and do not do it. I repeat, we're out of integrity when we tell ourselves we will do something and do not do it. And that includes others as well, for we begin with ourselves. For by following through with our word, we draw upon a soul's purpose to get us back home. Integrity also brings up the question, what are we committed to doing to aid our soul in this journey? What do you stand for? What are you against? Dr. Holmes wrote, one day there will be a group of people on earth that is for everything and against nothing. We are that group of people that is on earth who stands for everything and against nothing. For we know that everything is good, everything is God. That is to say, when we love every image, feeling, and thought, we will create a consciousness for our soul to soar. Our third concept is dedication. What are you dedicated to? What do you determine that you want to happen for you in this new world? Change for us is difficult because we are accustomed to being comfortable. How dedicated are you in saving time for a period of meditation, contemplation? How dedicated are you for taking time to just sit in nature, sit and watch the clouds formation, observing nature in her greenery? We're living in a new age which require major changes, and most we don't understand. Modern day mystic says we will have to change everything that we've ever done, said, or thought. I've not grasped the magnitude of that idea, but I'm noticing daily that changes are happening for me. And when I am conscious of it happening, I am participating in my soul growth so that my soul can soar. So we share with you actions to take to bring about the change. And your soul is like the mother duck. Keep moving in the direction to see you get back home. When I think of the analogy of the duck and her little chicks, I think of guidance, the guidance we have that we sometimes ignore. As I watched the little chicks, there were no two walking together. They were all separate. And I thought of that as humanity. All of us have some direction in which to go. But then at the end of the day, at the end of crossing the street, we're following the soul. So in closing, your intent sets the foundation for any project you desire to accomplish. Your integrity, which is simply your honesty, plays the next big role in the accomplishment. And your dedication or stick-to-itiveness, your willingness to continue regardless of the appearance, is how you demonstrate your desire. Let us pray, give thanks for this most opportune time to tap into our soul, to embrace the energies, the intent, the integrity, and determination, so that we can move forward into this new world and create a world that works for everyone, being for everything and against nothing. So as we go out into the marketplace this week, each one of us stands as a beacon of light to those we meet, those who come into our world, as the power within the words that we have listened to, that we have spoken, the energy radiates out into the world, healing our world and the world around us. Until we meet again, divine presence goes before you, making your way perfectly clear. So it is. So be it. And it is done.
And it is done. Let's dig into all of those nuggets that we had this morning. Beautiful.
Good morning. Reverend Alma, when Ashley had the topics that you were going to or the attributes or the elements of following our soul's agenda. It was intent, integrity, and intelligence. You did, and I didn't hear anything where you addressed intelligence, and I didn't see a dedication up there, but that's what you addressed. So what is it supposed to be?
It is, you see, it is intelligence within the dedication. And I see the intelligence as the spirit, as the soul that is within the energy of the soul that is within us. There is intelligence in everything. I did not realize I had not changed the word for the topic. I give my topic 2 weeks before I speak. So I did not remember that I had included that word. 2 weeks ago, the word was intelligent spirit. But intelligence, I see, is the energy of integrity and intent. If that makes sense to you?
What did you say? Intelligence is the energy and integrity of intent?
Is the energy of the soul. The intelligence is the energy of the soul that runs through the intent, the dedication, supporting us and itself and moving us back home.
I was just going to say that I also noted that there was something different, a different word used. However, when I saw intelligence, I immediately thought of the mother duck. And I thought of that word, the intelligence, as the divine one or the divine creator, which guards us. At first I saw that too, and then I said, oh, intelligence. Okay, that I understand that, because that is the creator moving with us through our intent and integrity. So don't feel so forlorn that you didn't put that word up. Our souls know.
Talking about the soul, right now, I am listening to the purpose my soul has for me. And Reverend Alma so clearly said, it's for me, for my soul, my spirit to get back home. And right now, I'm planning a lot of things for me. And putting all that in the context of getting back home, the reasons I'm doing what I'm doing, it makes so much sense. I just thank you for that, because without that context, it just seems that I'm been directed to do stuff and I don't understand it. And when I said I was directed to go to North Carolina, Carolyn Robinson in North Carolina, and I said, okay, I'll go with it. I'm just, and even that, it wasn't for me to go to, it's just so big. It is so much that I am just listening. That's what I'm doing. And knowing that I'm listening to return home is just so phenomenal. That's just it. Thank you, Reverend Alma.
Wow. Yeah, we felt that. Yeah. Wow. It's like the mother. It's a beautiful illustration that you cited, Reverend Alma, with the mother hen and the chicks, because it would appear that no matter what you do, you're still inadvertently being led home. regardless of how. So regardless of what you do or where you go, your value, your soul is still gonna have you get home.
Yes. Yes. Hmm.
I can see, you know, I see that little, that as you were talking, that expression, that illustration of the duck, the mother duck, and all of the little chicks. All of the little chicks represent our many selves. You know, you said they were all separate. They weren't, you know, they, in a couple of them, well, however they were getting their moving, whatever order they were moving in or not being in order, they were all behind the mother duck, but they represent our many selves, the architects that we inhabit. And regardless of how else life turns for us, the mother duck, our soul, it keeps walking forward. It knows what it has to do. And so, and because it is in charge, and the energy that it holds for those little chicks, it just pulls them along. So in some instances, they don't know what's happening. They didn't know where they were going, but they could keep the vision of her in their sight. And so all of that came out of that little analogy that you just said about the mother duck and what Carolyn said as she expressed.
Right.
Thank you. Thank you for bringing that idea in, because it is all about us and our behavior and the archetypes. Dr. Holmes called them the prototypes. Reverend Mazia called them the builders, the architects for our personality. And that is another way to look at the little chicks as our behavior pattern, because it's all about us. And we are the mother duck with all of those behavior patterns that we have to keep in tow sometime, well, at some time. And thank you for bringing that idea, that concept, so we can broaden our mind about the soul, since we have really no idea. We have no idea concept of the soul, but we know we have one. And I thought if we continue to explore the different parts of the soul, that we will eventually come into a realization that is the God within us.
So there's actually a need for us to continue our journey, to stay on the journey. And as we're saying that, there are some people who get to a certain age in life and a certain stage, and they tell me they're still not sure of what their purpose is in life. But there are some people who still really don't know.
I'm gonna just say to that comment that you just made. I feel that all of us know, all of us are not fully aware of what it is, but all of us know. I mean, I can't see God giving us this time to do it, not giving us, you know, some knowing of it. So there's a part of us that all know. We aren't necessarily aware of it in this present time. And as I'm understanding, you know, purpose is very broad and has several attributes. And so each portion of our life or each phase of experience helps to fulfill a portion of that purpose. So we may not know at 80 years old what the purpose is, because it is so broad, the purpose for life, our particular life. And depending on whatever attributes or gifts that were already developed, or those that needed to be developed. I mean, we couldn't get it all at 20 years old. I mean, it took 60 years of living in order to get to and through a phase of the purpose for being here. So I give all humanity the benefit of the doubt from my humble point of view of life. And I'm being egotistical and sarcastic on that one, but I'm just saying all of humanity knows within themselves. That's the part of what you said the soul is. They know those purposes, know our purpose.
Yeah.
We just are not aware of it. And that's a part of the challenge right now. We in us know that we are spirits having a human experience, but we're not aware of that fact and that attribute. So we don't know how to respond in that. And so
yeah,
I think again, purpose, and I was thinking about it, the difference between purpose and reasons. And so reasons are those things that that change. They're in our obvious and apparent existence.
Right.
But the purpose is it's not visible. And so it takes a while to put it all together. So I think that all of humanity knows the purpose. They're just not aware of their purpose. Therefore, they can't give it the kind of attention that it needs.
And that is because we have been conditioned to believe that we have to do something. We have to always be doing something. And so our consciousnesses continue to just do and not be. And actually our purpose is to be when we listen to our soul, which energy comes through what we call feeling. When we listen to our feeling and we follow our feeling, follow what we feel, then we are aiding our soul in its purpose, because feeling is simply emotion, or what Einstein defined as energy in motion that comes through our feeling. And when we uncover the little chicks, if you will, in our consciousness, one by one, we can address each behavior pattern, accept it. I accept the energy. I accept that energy. I accept everything. I looking at soundscapes yesterday, and just picked up the first way to begin to change is to acknowledge. The second is to accept. And in our spiritual mind treatment and religious science, the first step is recognition. And I use the term, you don't scratch until you itch. You first have to discover that behavior pattern, that little chick that's running off to the side. When you discover or pay attention to it, become aware of it, you can change it. You cannot change anything that you're not aware of.
Yes, and thank you for that. And while Patricia was talking, I was thinking that some people who say that they don't have their purpose, they could be just constrained. They're just being resistant, pulling back because of some fear or another. So that could be a point as well.
So, Reverend Alma,
Yes.
I've had that experience of observing the duck and its duckling, and I never looked at it in the manner that you drew our attention to this morning. And if you'll bear with me for 1 minute, offering of what Reverend Alma would.
Hey!
I knew you were going to do that. I knew it.
Thank you.
Oh my God, that is beautiful.
Proving that everything is in divine order.
I observed that one day, some months ago. I recorded it.
And just in time.
Just in time.
Perfect, perfect illustration. And you see, those little chicks are just content to follow behind the mother. They don't know where they're going, like somebody said. They don't even care where they're going. They are just being. They are being in line with the mother duck's intention. It's
Right.
like children. You're going to the store. They don't know which store or care. They're just ready to go, to move along with you.
Right.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
And when we learn to, when we begin to decide that I'm not against anything, because there's good in everything. And Dr. Holmes said, look for the good. You have to look for it. It's not obvious. And when you find the good in anything that you are against, then you have healed an attitude or behavior pattern. You pull the light out of it. Remember, we said your light in my message, your divinity is in your darkness, and the darkness would be in the archetypes or the prototypes or your behavior patterns. And see, what confuses us is that there are so many names for one thing. So we don't know. We're caught up in those names. You decide what you want to call them. You decide what you want to call God. You set the standard for your life, so your soul can soar. Everyone knows. On page 25 of the Science of Mind textbook, he said the seed of freedom is implanted in everyone, every human being. And the freedom is in looking into our behavior patterns and changing them, accepting them first. We cannot change them until we accept them. We have to accept the energy. We're simply accepting the energy, not the behavior. We see a murderer. We accept the energy because we have energy in murdering, because it was the sport of the day millions of years ago. And we have stories about how we could kill people and would not be persecuted for it. So everybody is a reflection of who we are, and it comes forth in our feelings, our images, and our thoughts. An image comes up, just accept it. And I have said, since I can't really get to I don't analyze the meaning. I simply say I accept that image and transmute it to love. And I see my color, what I think of love, the color I think love is. I simply bring that color up. That is participating in your life. That is participating in the soul's life. By bringing in the energy of love, because everything is love. I awakened yesterday morning, and the thought came: all is love, yet all is law. And I said that. I don't know how long I said that. As I was going through my morning ritual, that thought kept coming. All is love, yet all is law. Which means that everything has love in it and is ruled by law. And when we begin to look at those simple things, what is the law of the tree? The law of the tree is to grow, and the law of the tree is to die. The law of let's say the law of a container. As long as you keep the container as in a useful manner, you can use it according to its law. You break the container, you do not break the law. You simply break the container.
Yeah. Oh, strong words here.
Thank you, Reverend Alma. As always, I accept your words. And I love, we are for anything and against nothing. To be one. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you.
And examine those things that you are against, and they will come up for you. Just simply, I accept it. I accept that energy, and I transmute it to love. That's simple.
Time. Great point. Thank you. Thank you.